Anybody ready for a bit of Harley Benton? Battery exhausted, she says. I'm fucking exhausted. Here we go. Harley Benton. This guitar is perplexed me in fritzels. Welcome back, everyone. Special Wave. My name's Paul Richards. I'll do some swears. Here's some signs. We raise a bit of money, get some thank you cards, trophies, all that shit. It's not a flex, but it's a massive fucking flex, isn't it? If you don't like swearing, I've already offended you, I think, because I've probably dropped an F-bomb instantly. But anyway, moving on. The Harley Benton Fire Mist 25-year anniversary mung bean. This thing really surprised me. It's got a bit of a high action at the minute. It needs a bit of a setup, but let's just run through. It's got some lock-in tuners, which may or may not be wonderful. Don't really know. Never tuned the twat. It's got Harley Benton proprietary bridge, which I've actually found fine on other guitars. It's got a beautiful satin, roasted, flamed maple induced anal probe of a neck. I had a letter. People, make sure you send a letter with your guitars. This is from Mark Warby. It says, blah, 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 blah. Here's a guitar. And it buzzes like a motherfucker. That's the quote from his letter. And we've got some sharp fret ends. Do you want to have a little touch, Phil? Oh my God! Ah, my fingers! Thoughts and prayers, Phil. Thoughts and prayers. I should do it in a skull cap, really, shouldn't I? Then he'd probably sue me.
I find you unacceptable.
So, despite the fact that this guitar's got a few little issues, it's got a few little things to sort out, not a lot. It's got what I would say is secret sauce. It's got a bit of prolapse shielding coming at the side here, actually, from Mr. Warby. He's done that himself because apparently it was noisy. When I say secret sauce, I don't mean the sort that your uncle used to make you swallow as a kid.
Come again?
This has got something about it that you can't quite put your finger on. Perhaps that is a bit like your uncle. Let's take this thing apart and have a little look at the frets, because to me, it felt not too bad. I've got to say, not too bad at all. I'll have a little look at the setup first. There's more relief in that neck than the average Live Aid concert. She's straightened up nice. Right, so Mark said to me, I've sent this guitar to you because I thought the setup was a bit shit. I've tried polishing things. You can't polish a turd, and it buzzes like a motherfucker. And straight away, there are plenty of cheeky rockers. Just for a change this week, I'm not going to film and show you sorting out frets. Go and watch some of the old videos in the playlist, because fuck me, editing that bit of like me tapping frets down going, yeah, now I'm tapping. I'm so bored of that. I just need a little bit of a rest. And I've got some better guitars here that I'm doing now for the next few weeks that just don't need the same work. So if you want to see how to hit a fret with a hammer, look at some old videos and make sure you watch them to the end. That's it. And buy a t-shirt and all of my merch. I'm going to sort these frets out. It's not the end of the world. I already know that this guitar's got a special bit of magic that I'm really happy with. For me, it's all about how good we can get the setup. I'll run through that at the end and we'll discuss what I've found. I'll show you how I do the final setup, because that's not quite so boring, although it is still quite boring. And we'll do a longer demo. I might strum a clean tone. Might. Don't hold me to that. And if I do strum a clean tone, then all of my lack of ability will be highlighted for your perusal. Fuck me, I'm waffling today. I've got nothing to talk about. It's just a Strat and I'm going to tap some frets down. Before I do anything, let's have a little look at the action. Now I've straightened that neck. Now normally I would give it a bit of relief, just a smidgen, but we'll have a little look at what I've got going on here. The nut isn't cut too badly. It's a Graphtechy nut, a Tuskway, whatever you want to call it. Wenge, Wenge, Tusk, Tuskway. I don't give a fuck really. My action at the 12th with the neck quite straight. 1.4 on the bottom, 1.6 on the top. It's almost like the geezers set the guitar up how I like it. So let's see if I've got any buzzy buzzersons. Yep. Right, so there we go. We've got a little target. I'm just looking at little Dave to make sure he's doing as he's fucking told. I'm going to cut the strings off. I'm going to work on these frets and give them a little bit of a tap down. We're not going to do a massive level recrown and polish because actual guitar techs will castrate me in the comments. If you think that's distressing, you should see me naked. Jesus. Hashtag innie. So I'm going to tap these frets down. I don't know where the fuck did that come from. I'm going to tap these frets down. I'm going to polish my ends. I'm going to fretalize them back up to a nice shiny state. And then we'll come back and we'll reset the guitar up together. All right. I'm not filming any fretwork because it is so fucking boring. Right. I said I'm not going to film it and I'm not going to film it. However, these frets would not tap in. I could make minor adjustments. I think they're glued in. I've had to run the level in beam over. All right, so sorry, Harley Benton. I've got to do a fret level, recrown and polish. Your frets were shit. They were shiny, but they were fucking shit. They're all over the shop and I could not tap them down. So I'm still not filming it because you've seen it a million times before. I will do soon, but anyway, back to the video. I'll see you momentarily when it's all shiny and done.
Early the next morning.
Right, you slags, it's the next morning. I've had a good tidy up. I've set this thing up, I've polished the frets. I'll talk about the frets a little bit later on because they're not quite what they seem. At least I don't think they are quite what they seem. I've got to stop saying M. The amount of times I've got to fucking edit out M. I'm just thinking out loud and it comes out like I'm a dick. I'm going to take you through the final stages of setup because I thought to myself, quite often you'll take a guitar apart, it's relatively well set up, you put your new strings on, you polish your frets, you do all your shit. I mean, it's looking all very nice, I oiled it overnight, blah, 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 usual guff. Make sure you keep an eye out for Milehouse Studios headrests. Oh, sexual. Woo! Sometimes you'll put your strings back on. Oh, sorry, I went on a little tangent then. Sometimes you'll put your strings back on, keep it together, Paul, and it just will be all over the shop. Something's completely wrong, like a hand on the hip. People aren't going to take you seriously with a hand on the hip, but you sometimes catch yourself doing it anyway. Normally when you're editing on the sofa with a rum and you leave it in because you don't mind looking like a cock. Yep. I'm going to take you through where you start. So far, all I've done is tuned it. I've put the strings on, I've given them a stretch and I've tuned it. That is it. That's all I've looked at. So let's go through the final stages. The first thing I'm going to do is get the neck right. All right, we're going to mess around with tuning and getting the neck right just to get everything set up nicely. So I've got way too much relief in that neck. I've just sorted out all my Allen keys. Alan! There he is. Good old boy. Slag. Now, it's difficult to show on camera. I've set that. If you want to know how much relief, the first bit of daylight that you see under the ruler. All right, I've said that over and over again. You don't have to be more technical than that. Any more or less, you're not going to feel the difference. Just get it so that there is a sheet of paper of daylight under your middle of your ruler somewhere. All right, not all necks are created equal. That's fine. So I'm going to check my tuning now. Check my tuning, double check your neck, all right, just to make sure, because if you're going to adjust things, it's going to fuck you over. That is the smallest amount of relief. That is literally a queef of relief under the neck. Put that on a t-shirt, Paul. Said it before anyone else can comment. Now I've done that, I'm going to check, before I do anything else, I'm going to check my relief at the 12th. Make sure that your neck rest is midway and you're just trying to minimise the amount of forces on necks and things. I'm not pushing down very hard because I've got scales. 1.1 on the high E, altogether, high E. I wonder how many people actually did that. And I wonder if anyone can hear me outside when they walk past. That's an interesting one, isn't it? 1.6 on the low E. My bridge is floating quite nicely. I could probably allow a little bit more. I like to set my bridge up parallel with the body, all right? And we're a little bit low on the back. Not enough to make a difference, to be fair. So if I want to raise my bridge, I just want to release those screws. Just a little bit. You don't have to go mental. We're just taking a bit of tension off the springs. Much closer to parallel. Let's have a little look and see if that's adjusted the action. 1.75 on the low E. 1.2 on the high E. Now looking at that bridge, it's very, very parallel along the front. I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm just going to reduce this saddle down till I get to 1.6. 1.5. I've level crowned and repolished this. Let's go 1.5, 1.3, just because we can. Again, make sure your saddles are parallel. 1.25. Now, most important thing, we need to check the radius of our fretboard. The strings are on, so I'll use my special notched one. We've got ourselves a 12-incher. So I know I've got a 12-inch radius. I'm going to get my 12-inch radius card. I'm going to sit it on the top of the strings. I'm going to get down level with it. And I'm going to bring all these saddles in line so the radius of my strings matches the radius of the fretboard. And I'm going to do that just by gently resting it on and just pushing it down and making sure all the strings move together. I think we're about there. So now I'll retune. Every time you retune, every time you do a step, have a little look at your neck relief. Make sure you're not affecting things. Trem guitars are weird. You've got to go back and forth, back and forth. Don't worry about it. You're not a prick. Right, that neck is pretty much dead straight now. So what we've done, we've affected things. You might find, if you just give it a bit of love. So the ultimate check, have we got good frets? Brilliant. So everything is leveled, crowned, repolished, set up. That's all I've got to do there. One final check is the intonation. So of the intonation there, the only thing I've really noticed is the G string is a little bit sharp, and I can tell by that saddle there, look, it's level with the B string. So I'm just going to pull that back. Make sure you use the right screwdriver end, right? Because if your bridge is shit, your screws are going to be rounding out like a motherfucker. Very, very good. Only other minor changes I've done, I've lubricated the nut, although it shouldn't need it, it's a Graph Tech. I've changed the string trees to roller string trees, which may or may not affect things. I don't fucking know. Fight me in the comments. Let's go and give it a test. This guitar already had a bit of secret sauce. I've cleaned it as well. Don't forget, we've used Finger Blast to give it a good cleaning, and the neck has had a wonderful bit of vintage discharge. All in all, I've got great hopes for this thing. It certainly should be lovely. I've left a dildo mark on it. In today's video, Paul cleaned off a dildo sucker mark with vintage discharge. There you go, clip that and put it on the internet. Never thought I'd be saying that for a living. Fucking weird. I'll see you down in Fritzl's. Let's give this thing a good thrashing, and I could do with a coffee. It's 10:29. I've got things to do. Real guitar making. See you downstairs. No one famous doing the demo today, alright? It's back to me doing sultry Gilmore tonage. Alright, so what did I think about the Strat? What did I think? I've had some professional people doing demos for me, and it just fucking breaks my heart when I've got to do it myself. It's a nightmare. 50,000 takes later, and I've muscled through just a crock of bullshit that sounds the same as it does every week. But I still enjoy playing this. Let me just share something with you that has happened recently. Someone that will remain nameless basically said that they thought leveling the frets and fret rockers and all that was a crock of shit and not necessary. And at the time, I took a step back and I thought, fucking wow, that's the polar opposite to how I feel and what I've found as a guitar builder and maker. This person's not a guitar builder or maker, they're a player, an appreciator of guitars. So I had to think about it, because I'm not going to judge someone's opinion. I'll sit back and have a think, and I'll play devil's advocate. And I couldn't resolve it in my head. I couldn't. I just know what I know, and I set things up, and I get things consistent, and that's it. This thing, it's kind of brought me a little bit closer to resolution, because when this was in the workshop, it had a shit ton of relief on the neck. It had like a 2mm action, and it played really nicely. I'd got it out a few times. Rob had done a nice job of polishing the frets up, and to be fair, it played all right. So let's think, how many guitars are out there with 2mm actions and shit frets, but because the action's so high, you would never know. How many guys are just appreciating their guitars? Am I assuming that you can't appreciate a guitar with like that? But again, it comes back to I know what I know. There are a lot of you that are phenomenal players that need a low action. You play what you're used to. So there's no one size, there's the hand on the hip again, sorry. There's no one size fits all answer. I firmly believe that setting up guitars and leveling the frets is what you need to do to get the action to what I deem the most comfortable. This is 1.5, 1.3 with minimal relief. That's my constant numbers. 1.6, 1.4, you can't really tell the difference. Could probably go a little bit lower. I tend to play a little bit higher action if I've got nines on, I've found. That's something I've learnt recently, because I'm a heavy-handed mung bean. And I twat the strings. And I find with nines, yeah, they don't stand up to my fucking troll hands quite as well. I haven't strummed it with Mrs. Richard's hooves yet. We'll have to see what happens there. But that's one conclusion. So it's fine. It's not even a fucking conclusion, is it? I'm just waffling crap, really. Why do you even fucking tune into this? The other thing I read on a Reddit post, and I don't understand Reddit. It's just a load of fucking twats waffling shit, giving bad advice about stuff they don't know anything about, mainly. A bit like this channel, innit, really? But someone said that this guitar was a good beginner instrument, and on paper, this guitar has got a great spec sheet. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Apart from the paint job, which I'm not a fan of, but it's very good. It's no issues with it. There's a couple marks here and there. The guy on Reddit said that stainless steel frets doesn't always mean quality, amongst other things that he slated about it. So let me just go through what I think would deem something a beginner instrument. I don't know what this is made of. Basswood, alder, whatever is underneath this paint job. Doesn't matter a fuck to me. It's a relatively weighty guitar. I don't care about the wood, really. Not really. I think all Chinese manufacturers use the same CNC file or something very similar, because the necks are all lovely. That is not a beginner neck. It's a fucking flamed maple with a brown fretboard. There's nothing beginner about it. A £2,000 guitar can have a flamed maple neck with a brown wood on the front. I'll have to agree with the person on Reddit that stainless steel frets are not all created equal. I've got some stuff up there that's very expensive from Jescar. It's a nightmare to... Well, it's not a nightmare. It's much harder to install, much harder to get perfect, harder on tools. That's not. Straight away you can tell. It's very low-grade stainless steel. But it's fine. It's fine. So perhaps are they beginner frets? I don't know. Fucking beginner frets. It's got a Graphtec nut, which is not beginner. It's got roller string trees, which is not beginner. It's got lock-in tuners. And I will not have a word said about the Harley Benton lock-in tuners. They are fucking lovely. No problems at all. What they do really well is change the pitch of the strings when you turn them. What more do you want? The bridge is fine. The tuning stability is great. The Roswell pickups are fucking lovely. The switches are all fine. There's nothing beginner about that instrument, all right? People need to wake up. It's a £200 guitar, and it's great. I'm not marking it down. When it came, the frets were shit. But how many fucking times have we seen guitars come here and have shit frets and need sorting out? They all do. It's like, it's boring even saying it now. Let's get a guitar out this week. Oh, the frets are shit. Fucking surprise, surprise. However, when they're sorted out, even a Gear for Music guitar can be great. So there you go. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't ever judge a book or a man by the name on his headstock. State of his missus, yeah, fucking ugly kids, whatever, but never the name on his headstock, because that geezer might be able to play you out of the fucking street. I'll see you later, everyone. Special wave. I've enjoyed this. It's live now. It's 200 quid on eBay. It's live now. You can go and buy it if you want. Ciao for now.
There's a shrimp hanging out of her.
That's her clitoris.
Oh. Well, it tasted like shrimp.